Right Lock Hamilton Farm is just an incredible historic property. It's remarkable that it survived as long as it has, as close to Boston as it is.
What's really significant about Hamilton Farm and its relation to this broader expanse of woodland is it's the only place in Winchester where you have a grassland area with special ecosystems right next to woodlands. And this is so important because there's no other place in Winchester or even nearby that's quite like that. I know that when I walk out in the woods or when I walk out outside, it satisfies something. It's a very spiritual thing for me personally, and I think that kids and others can relate to that when you take them outside.
When I take children on nature walks, one of the things I like to try to do is to get them to appreciate, respect, and also have great awe and wonder for what they're seeing.
I'll always start off by asking the question of how would you like to live where it's always cold, dark, and wet? And of course most of the kids will say, I wouldn't like to live there. A couple of the boys will say, oh yeah, that would be neat. That sounds like a lot of fun.
The whole farm is a kind of outdoor classroom. I know when I take my kids on a hike in the woods, or they're doing a hands-on class at Habitat or Drumlin Farm, they immediately start asking their own questions.
When my kids were small, we always made a point to take them to places where there were animals, gardens, anything to do with plant life, that sort of thing, and they always enjoyed it.
Walking, being able to hike, just like I do, my family does, from Lexington overlooking Lock Hamilton Farm.
I remember the stream coming down from the farm, which would be icy in the winter and which we'd have to walk over carefully.
I would like more people to enjoy the rich feeling that I get being able to walk down the street, take my kids into that raspberry patch, and just I can't, it's like heaven.
The whole town should have the opportunity to have land like that as closely available as possible so that people really enjoy it.
It's such a unique bit of land to have within 128, and we just need to keep it, and we need to respect the earth.
Acton has done something like that. Wilmington, even Burlington is saving open land. So it's not just us, it's everybody. It's in the neighborhood of 40 to maybe 50 acres a day of land, and it's lost in Massachusetts to development.
The land has been farmed since the 1600s. It's only been owned by 3 families since the 1600s. Most of the buildings date from the 1820s to 1915. It's still a working farm today.
We're talking about 206 years of history on that property, if not longer. We're talking about 150 years prior to that also, because we now know that there probably was some sort of a building on that property as early as the 1650s. And it's been farmland ever since.
The importance of the Wright family to the founding of the capital region of Canada is so significant that the Canadian government actually erected a very large bronze plaque on the site in 1980 that commemorates Philemon Wright, the last Wright to own the farm before it was sold to the Locks, who in the winter of 1799 to 1800, he set out from that farm in winter sleigh with 63 settlers, and they founded what's now the capital region of Canada, Ottawa.
You can go to that property and you can look and you can feel what it was like originally. You can look at the buildings and you can understand. You can go in and look at the fact that 1827 is actually carved into the beams.
It's a living museum. With so much history here, the town could use the farm as a venue for educational classes, musical performances, or even weddings.
We could even create a community farm, just like they've done at Waltham Fields Community Farm.
We do. We have quite a few home gardeners who come and visit the farm. They don't have a lot of resources to go to in this area anymore. It's fun. We can compare varieties. We can talk to them about what we're growing and what works well for us. When they have an investment in their food and an investment in their land, their experience of eating is so much richer. It's not fast food. This is the ultimate in slow food. This is seeing food from a seed to your plate.
The more I think about community farms here, where there's lots of people, is boy, how much easier for all those different age groups to come and be helpful and to be part of the farm. If you have the farms right here in town, then you don't have to drive miles.
It's neat to meet other people who kind of share some of your values and care about where their food comes from. So you have that kind of social basis.
You know, if they make it a community farm where people might be able to, you know, do some planting of their own, I'd be interested in going up there and taking advantage of it.
It's unique in our hurried lives to find a place like that.
As we become to understand it, we're gonna come to love it, and as we come to love it, we're gonna want to protect it.
We can't live without the land, but we are the keepers of the land. We are the stewards.
It's really the last remaining large piece of land in the entire town. So it would just be an enormous loss, not just for Winchester, but really for the whole state and really for the country. It's a property of national and even international significance.
So to see something like that disappear would just kill me, because you can't reproduce it. It won't come back. It's gone forever.
We need some place where we can go and relax and let our hair down and just enjoy all of this beauty around us.
It's one of Winchester's hidden treasures. And the farm doesn't have to be that hidden anymore. And it's a big treasure.
Behold this enchanting place that's such a rare gem, and